Hi, my name is Shanice. I'm 20 years old, and this is my narrative speech. So, how many of you have ever been to Jordan? Or let's start from how many of you have ever been outside of California or outside of the US? And if you have been outside of the US, how many of you have been to the Middle East? It's quite the experience, and this is why moving to Jordan changed my life. So, to understand how big of an impact Jordan was, you have to understand that I come from a nuclear family, just me and my sister, and the extended family from my mother's side is actually very big and very involved in everyone else's life. That's just how we grew up. And my family is quite religious. We're Christian and slightly overachievers. So when I got suspended 3 times out of high school, it was a big deal because of my family background. Now, I lived for a while after middle school. I lived in Kenya, which is where I'm from. Just me, my sister, and the rest of my extended family. My mother got a job in Jordan and she moved away. And it was while she was away that I got suspended out of high school. So I got suspended for a bunch of things, including fights, drugs, and whatever. So after my third suspension, she had enough and she was like, that's it. Sheena and you, Sheena's being my sister, are moving to Jordan because 3 strikes and you're out. That's about it. So we moved to Jordan. And that was an experience in and of itself because, first of all, understanding where Jordan is, it's in the Middle East. There's a lot of tension in the Middle East, and we're right on the border with Iraq, with Syria, with Israel. So there's all this happening around us, but Jordan itself is quite safe. But that was very difficult for the rest of our family to understand why you'd want to move your children out of beautiful, loving, their home basically, and move them to the Middle East. But it's a decision that she made. She did not make it lightly, but I'm glad she did because living in Jordan did change my life. So apart from it just being very far away from home, the Arab culture, the Arab people who are indigenous to Jordan, are very different from Africans, of course, and the differences in culture was quite shocking to me, actually. There are a lot of things that are done in Africa that are not done in the Arab world, and vice versa. So that made it difficult to assimilate into the society. And after having gone through that, I now realize I never really needed to assimilate, and I'm glad that I didn't because standing out has become something that I'm not only used to, I look forward to doing it. I look forward to not being the same as everyone else, not only by skin color, but also language and how I speak and what I speak is quite different from everyone else. They mainly speak Arabic, and that's like 95% of the population. Meaning that we would go into stores and the shopkeepers don't understand what we are saying because they don't speak English. Neither do they speak French or Swahili, which are the other two languages that I speak. And the other thing that made it difficult to assimilate in the society was race and skin color. Basically, like in my school, there were four people who spoke. No, there were four people of color, and I was related to one of them. One of them was my sister. Then the only other two people in an entire middle and high school, only to four people of color. So that really made me feel like an outsider. But that has become something that I'm used to because of that experience. And apart from homesickness and just being away from home and my family and people that I've known all my life, I also was in a new school and I hadn't moved out of school for a really long time. So being the new kid also um, made it difficult for Jordan to seem like home. But once I got past those barriers, their new experiences and the new friends that I made it a very enjoyable experience, and I'm quite grateful for it. I was lucky enough to have gone to Milan in Italy with my best friend for Model United Nations, an experience that I don't think I would get anywhere else. Because I love debating and I love public speaking, obviously, but this particular experience to go and debate in Italy with hundreds of other students from all over the world was really eye-opening and it was a fantastic experience for the debater in me. I also went to a refugee camp while I was in Jordan, and I did this through my work experience at the Red Cross, and it was just very eye-opening. And for me because it's a perspective I'd never seen before. It was a situation I'd never been in myself because these are people who've lost their jobs, their houses. Some have even been separated from their family, their own children, basically, and they've really lost everything. And to be able to see them still live day by day through that and still find things to laugh about, things to smile about, even with all that pain and suffering, was quite heart wrenching. And so these are just some of the many experiences that I am grateful to Jordan for, because while did not look forward to moving, I'm glad that I did because it changed my life. It really did.